Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a very specific look just at key parts of the Matic Network's white paper. Think of it as an information shortcut.
Right. We're zeroing in on the tech claims, the architecture they laid out. The goal is to help you, our listener, get past the noise and really understand the core engine quickly.
Exactly. We're decoding the blueprint here, our mission. Pull out the essentials on how Matic actually claims to solve that big persistent blockchain problem. Speed and scaling.
And that context is so important. Scalability platforms exist because the foundational blockchains, like, say, Ethereum, they run into traffic jams, bottlenecks.
Right.
They just can't handle the sheer volume of transactions people want to do, not quickly or cheaply anyway. So Matic tries to step in and fix that.
Okay, so let's look at their main claim, like right out of the gate. The documentation we have defines Matic Network simply as a blockchain scalability platform. Pretty direct.
It tells you its job title, basically. And if that's the function, what does it promise to deliver? The white paper is very clear. Secure, scalable, and instant transactions.
Secure, scalable, and instant. That's the trifecta.
It really is. They set the bar high. It's not just about being fast. It's speed, plus security that mirrors the main chain, plus handling huge volumes. That's the promise.
And that promise, well, it's the holy grail, isn't it? Everyone's chasing it. But promising is one thing. Delivering is another massive engineering feat. So how did they even approach getting all three at once? What's the big idea?
The core strategy really is moving the heavy lifting, the computation off the main chain, but, and this is crucial, without losing the security guarantees.
Okay.
And the white paper excerpts lay out a kind of two-part system, like a hybrid approach, to manage both doing the transactions and making sure everything stays secure.
Okay, a hybrid solution.
Yeah.
Let's unpack that then. This must be where the speed comes from. The docs mentioned the first piece is POS sidechains. So what's the sidechain actually doing, and why POS?
Right. The sidechain is basically the workhorse. Its main job is just raw throughput, execution speed. It takes transactions away from the main congested chain and processes them super fast. That offloading is where the instant transaction claim really comes from.
And choosing proof of stake, the POS part, that's a big deal here, right? Why that mechanism?
Oh, absolutely. POS proof of stake, that defines how that sidechain stays secure instead of needing, massive amounts of computing power like some other systems.
Like proof of work.
Exactly. Here, security relies on validators who have staked their own tokens. They've put skin in the game. And this way of doing things is just inherently quicker, more efficient for confirming lots of transactions one after another.
Oh, okay.
That efficiency is really what lets the sidechain feel instant to the user.
So the POS sidechain gives you the speed, it gives you the scale, because it's efficient and offloads work. So why the second part? Why bring in an adapted version of Plasma? Doesn't POS provide enough security on its own?
That is the key question, isn't it? And the answer boils down to the ultimate security guarantee, especially for your assets.
Ah, okay. So not just securing the operations, but the money itself.
Precisely. When you move funds off the main chain onto a side chain, there's always a risk. What if those sidechain validators mess up? Or worse, what if they try to cheat?
Right.
You absolutely need a strong cryptographic way to ensure you can get your funds back safely to the main chain no matter what happens on that side chain.
Got it. So POS secures the running of the sidechain transaction by transaction, but Plasma is like the secure bridge back, the emergency exit.
That's a great way to put it. Plasma is a framework specifically designed for that, letting users safely exit a child chain, like the side chain, back to the parent main chain, even if that child chain goes rogue.
Okay.
Think of Plasma like a really sophisticated set of rules for locking funds, using them off-chain, but always making sure the user keeps the key to pull them back. Without something like Plasma, that sidechain would just be too risky for serious financial stuff.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The white paper doesn't just say Plasma. It says an adapted version. Now, if Plasma is already designed for this exact issue, why adapt it? Why not just, plug and play?
Well, that little word, adapted. It's a huge clue for engineers. It tells us the standard, off-the-shelf Plasma framework probably didn't mesh perfectly with Matic's specific POS setup.
How so?
Plasma frameworks often come with, let's say, quite rigid assumptions about how proofs are generated, how challenges work, how you actually exit your funds.
So adapting it means they tweak the security rules, the lock and key mechanism to perfectly fit their custom POS engine.
Exactly that. They essentially built a custom security layer for their custom speed engine. It suggests they needed something bespoke.
Why, though? What might they have been optimizing for?
Could be several things. Maybe they made the plasma exit process faster or more efficient in case of disputes, or perhaps it was tailored to handle the specific way their POS validators bundle and confirm transactions. The point is that adapted detail shows they didn't just slap two pieces of tech together, they deeply integrated them to make sure Secure didn't compromise instant. That synergy, that tight integration, seems to be the core of their claimed innovation.
That paints a much clearer picture, speed and scale from the POS side chains. But the whole thing is trustworthy because of this customized, adapted plasma security net. It's like a necessary pairing.
Absolutely. And what's really fascinating is how it shows that in this complex world of blockchain architecture, sometimes the hardest part isn't the big concept, but getting the details of integration just right for the real world.
Okay, moving beyond the core tech. The excerpts also give us a few other clues. Context. First, the name. Matic Network, or Matic. That's the token symbol too, right?
Correct. The name signals the network and its native token. But look at the other data mentioned alongside the tech specs. It actually gives us financial metrics.
Yeah, I saw that. It mentions a specific price, 0.872 aces, and a return, 0.65%. It seems unusual for a technical white paper.
It is a bit unusual, but very telling. Including these numbers puts the technical design firmly in a market context.
What does it tell you seeing those figures there?
It grounds the whole thing. It says, look, this isn't just theory. This architecture supports a real functioning asset, a platform with actual market value and activity.
Right.
It underscores that the need for secure, scalable, instant transactions isn't just academic talk. It's driven by real-world usage, by the value represented in those numbers. It's documenting something operational, not just a plan.
And then there are the dates. The copyright notice spans 2017 to 2022. That's a 5-year window.
Yeah, and that time frame is also really significant. It shouts maturity and iteration.
How so?
Well, it shows this wasn't just, a quick idea launched overnight. It points to years of development, refinement, probably lots of testing, and ongoing documentation, all focused on tackling that really tough scalability problem.
So for you, the listener, that time frame suggests the solutions we're talking about. They're likely the result of sustained effort and optimization, likely adapting as the market changed over those years.
Exactly. It suggests a serious, long-term engineering effort.
Okay, so if we put the tech engine and this market context together, what we see is a platform that had apparently reached a certain level of maturity and value, and that very success probably demanded this unique hybrid solution to handle the pressures of speed and security.
That's a good summary. So let's quickly synthesize the core takeaway for now. Matic's architecture, based on these excerpts, it really hinges on a synergy.
Right.
They use the speed and throughput of POS sidechains for handling the transactions quickly. But then, crucially, they secure the whole process, especially getting funds back safely, using a tailored, adapted plasma framework.
And the whole point of this specific combination?
To deliver on those three big promises: secure, scalable, and instant transactions. That's the goal the architecture aims for.
Okay, so now you have the essential pieces, the core claims, and the basic structure of the Matic network, at least as presented in these white paper excerpts.
You've got the blueprint.
And with that knowledge distilled, we want to leave you with a final thought, something to maybe chew on, going back to that adaptation point.
Oh, yes, the adapted plasma.
If scalability is such a universal blockchain challenge, and Plasma was already a known framework trying to solve parts of it, what does the fact that Matic needed to adapt it tell us? Does it suggest that maybe these big off-the-shelf scaling solutions often just don't quite cut it in the real world? That maybe the specific demands of each blockchain project force them towards unique, customized blends of technology rather than simple plug-and-play?
It's a really interesting question. Does true success in scaling always require that kind of bespoke tailoring? Something to think about as you evaluate other scaling solutions out there.